How's it going, bro?
Good, just paying bills. Skipping practice to pay bills. We just finished that driver's brief. The boys are wrapping up the car, and in just a moment's time, Fielding and I are going to run up to the spotters tower and check out the beginning of Pro 1 practice. And then in about an hour and a half's time, I get to go and unleash the new Eurofighter and see if our 9 months of hard work and no sleep has paid off. So because of the way that they're doing it this year, there's no actual qualifying. It's based off last year's standings. So I'm number one qualifier. So nice to have that to start today, I guess. And we'll see where it gets us from there.
Is the track the same as last year?
Yeah, track is exactly the same, except they moved a couple of the zones. So basically on the last corner, which is a left-hander, really tight hairpin. Last year they had a nose clip, which I personally hated because typically when you have a nose clip, it pinches off the chase driver. So they actually changed it to an outer zone now, which is what I prefer. I think, honestly, all of Formula D, every single track should have nothing but outer zones because that promotes the best tandem. The wider the lead car goes, the more room the chase car has to, get close and not have to get pinched off or drop tire or end up in the dirt. So they did that on the last corner here, which is nice. This is actually one of the most technical tracks, if you ask me, in terms of line. It's very important that you control your angle, control your wheel speed, and really follow the right line. And it's not easy. So, some of the other tracks where it's more about horsepower, more about speed, that sort of stuff. Here it's really about the very fine tuning and control of that line, the angle and speed on course, exactly where you need to be, and timing your transitions. It's pretty technical, but we'll see how Josh does. It's all on him. I just get to talk on the radio, so I got an easy job.
So to summarise the first day, the big issue that we were facing was that we had never driven on an Achilles 123S before. We had placed the order, but with Nexen pulling out of the championship just a couple of weeks before the series started, it meant that we didn't have time for whatever administrative reasons for Achilles to ship us the tyre so we could go out and do any meaningful testing with it. We had some semi-slick tyres sitting in the warehouse, so we dropped them down to single-digit pressures to try and replicate what we thought the tyre would be. But when we got to the track, finally got those tyres mounted up and went out to test on them, it became painfully apparent very quickly that what we thought they were going to be and what they were in real life were night and day difference. The biggest thing was, even though we were testing on 265 tyre with single-digit pressures, on the Achilles 123Ss we were running them at 25 to 30 psi, and they're only at 255, but they had so much grip that it created all sorts of issues for us with both anti-squat and then the entire rear suspension system binding up. You can see here that where a drift car should usually squat under acceleration, it's actually hiking up over 6 inches. The feeling that gave in the car was kind of like a tyre had let go and debeated, and it was really a very sketchy experience trying to keep the car sideways and put it where I wanted to on track. Between that and the foul plugs, we spent most of Thursday's practice just chasing down those two issues. So really before we went into the main event, I had just 4 runs on Friday's practice with a car that was loosely in the window where we wanted it to be, and no meaningful data to take away from it.
There's people that don't like it, and then there's people that I see this, like I do, that he's driving aggressive, and that's what we need is an aggressive driver. You gotta be willing to take the chances. That's how you're gonna end up putting this thing on the podium at the end of the day.
There we go, ready to get back to the track. Thanks so much, man, you're a legend.
No problem.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Stay well, guys. key focus at the moment is getting used to how much grip the car has and the way that it transitions. The interesting thing with the track at St. Louis is that it's two really long, shallow angle straightaways. So it's a tight balance of trying to keep the car sideways without it straightening if you need to come off the gas for any reason, without using the handbrake if you need to try and get it to stay sideways. So it's really just a case of piecing that together perfectly so the clutch kick on initiation gets the car to the right angle and you can stay on the gas the entire time through that zone, and maybe a little bit of left foot brake if it starts to straighten up to keep it perfectly sideways and also getting the distance that you need down those long sweeping corners.
Garrett Nuts here, big vlogger guy, out here doing burnouts with the Uru Fighter. That's Uru because it's Australia.
We've got 10 minutes left in the first session. We're having a bit of trouble with the suspension setup, so I've come in, I've just jumped in the car real quick. Hopefully the boys are going to sort it out and I can get out there for one more lap and see if we fixed it up. Hasn't been the greatest session, to be honest, but still hopeful. We've got another hour tomorrow before the competition starts, so see if we can get a couple of good runs in now, see if we've sorted out our suspension gremlins and get this thing going. We're working on the rear suspension at the moment. The guys have got the toe plates out, trying to check all of that. We're going to drop the suspension off, or drop the shock absorber off and cycle that. The livery, of course, is the Robo-Roo. My accent is real, and this guy's come with us to the new car. We've got to pull this thing apart, check it over and get ready for tomorrow. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching. Stay well.